Hey guys, it's Nick from This here. Today I have an interesting Dead by Daylight discussion video. I'm going to be talking about the king of horror, Jason Voorhees, and if he has any kind of chance of appearing in DBD one day. I'm sure most of you watching know about Jason's own game, Friday the 13th, The Game. It's a similar concept to DBD, with a bunch of survivors tasked with escaping or taking down Jason on iconic maps and against different versions of Jason across all the movies. For a long time, because of this game and complicated license situation, it was believed Jason Voorhees would never make it to Dead by Daylight. I think that's a shame because Jason is such an iconic slasher who definitely deserves a place in-game. They have Freddy, Michael, Leatherface, and many more. The more icons' behavior adds to the game, the more the Jason-sized hole hurts. Now, I know what some people would say to this is just, oh well, who cares, just play Jason's game. And sure, I get your point, but is it so wrong to want to see Jason in Dead by Daylight 2? Ash Williams and Leatherface also have their own games, and they still made it to DBD. I think Jason deserves the same treatment. Not to mention, the Friday the 13th game servers are shutting down next year. After a lawsuit over the rights of the Friday franchise launched, the devs of the game were unable to add any more content, so slowly by slowly, the game has died off and lost its fan base, soon to die off forever. It's the perfect time to migrate Jason to Dead by Daylight. Back in 2020, Matthew Cote, lead developer of DBD, openly admitted in an interview that they want Jason Voorhees in the game once this lawsuit gets resolved, and once they can make it happen. According to Matthew, Jason will be welcomed with open arms. The Friday the 13th rights lawsuit finally came to an end in 2021, a year after Matthew made this statement. So while the rights ownership is still a messy and complicated story, the end result is that it's definitely possible, and likely, we'll see Jason Voorhees in the future of Dead by Daylight. I can't stress how important and vital this will be for the game, as Jason is really one of the few puzzle pieces missing from this game. Also, Dead by Daylight's main mascot and original killer, Trapper, is obviously inspired by Jason himself. It's been announced another Friday the 13th game is in development, and it's going to be a different style than the one we know. So, most likely not an asymmetrical multiplayer game, which makes it an even better time to add Jason to Dead by Daylight. What could a Friday the 13th chapter look like? Well, assuming everything is on the table with no licensing to hold behavior back, I think this would be an ideal and perfect way to introduce the Friday the 13th franchise to Dead by Daylight. For Jason as the new killer, his design could be Part 3 Jason, as that's one of his most iconic looks. His main ability could be teleporting around the map, like he could do in his own game. He would have a cooldown animation right after a successful teleport to help make it not totally broken, but I think someone slow like Jason, who manages to be everywhere all at once, definitely needs teleporting as his ability. His iconic machete would be his melee weapon, and overall, Jason could be a slower killer, but his teleporting would make up for it. Some perk ideas I have for him are: Jason sees survivors' auras longer when they are revealed by other perks, an armor perk to concentrate on his durability. It negates any stun status effect such as Decisive Strike once a match, and to concentrate on his stealth, gaining the undetectable status effect for 10 seconds after hooking survivors. Camp Crystal Lake would make for a perfect map. Tommy Jarvis was the hero of the Friday the 13th game, as well as the 4th, 5th, and 6th Friday the 13th movies, so he's definitely the only survivor to pick for DBD. Jason's Mori is a really tough thing to just choose one kill for. Look at his own game. They have like hundreds of unique kill animations that Jason can do himself and also do using the environment around him. Jason has killed 163 people on screen, so it's almost impossible to think of just one thing for his Mori. If I had to pick just any, I'd maybe pick the sleeping bag kill as a Mori, as it's kind of funny, not overly gory so it wouldn't push behavior's model limits, and it's iconic in its own way. Of course, different movie version skins could be sold post-launch, like Uber Jason, Part 7, etc. They could even change his machete to other weapons he's used across the movies and certain skins, like they've done for other killers. I could go on all day about Friday the 13th and how perfect of a chapter this would be, but I wanted to make this video to get my thoughts out there and just remind people that Jason definitely can show up in Dead by Daylight, and most likely will someday. Look how long it took Behavior to finally add Xenomorph, another huge icon in the horror world. I'm positive we'll see the hockey mask wearing monster in-game someday, and I can't wait. Let me know what you think about Jason ever heading to Dead by Daylight. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.